Mike Abbott, Steel Rose Metal Co. I thought I'd talk a little bit about rust repair. Rust repair is a fact of what I do, especially in the area of the world that I'm in. Thinking about rust repair, I thought I'd just kind of share a little bit of experience inside fabrication. So rust repair is commonly, there's a misconception. Small sections of rust can cause hours upon hours of time. One thing to take into consideration is your make, model of the car, how plentiful those cars are. Is it best to go back with another car, to cut your losses on this one and go to the other one? Because you can spend a ridiculous amount of time, effort, and money if you're paying somebody in a shop to get that rust fixed. Another thing to take into consideration is the availability of aftermarket parts and the quality of those parts. Just because they sell the part, reproduction floor pans is a common one, that look like what they are supposed to be, but never or very rarely fit like they're supposed to. So you have hours upon time trying to fit those parts. Mind you, it's still going to save you in the long run because you're not paying someone to recreate those parts or make them. The availability of parts is a big deal. The car that you're buying, is it rare? Do they offer aftermarket quarter panels, lower patch panels? Keeping all of that in mind when you're going at your next project. I just got through with a Volkswagen van that just seemed to, rust spots just popped up everywhere. In the back floor, which if you know anything about a Volkswagen, or it's basically like a truck bed, it has these big giant ridges. They do offer most of the Volkswagen ports in the aftermarket, but on a van and some spots of a Beetle, you have to know that it's just 3 or 4 layers of metal over the top of each other. So just because you're seeing a rust spot in the floor, half dollar size, doesn't mean that the bracing underneath or the other layers that are underneath don't have rust in them. So you wind up replacing the inner layer, fixing it, getting it smooth, then the outer layer, and then in some cases 3 layers thick to make this thing back to a solid piece. So it's always good to take into consideration the amount of time and effort it's going to take to fix these rust spots. Sometimes your best bet is to just, like I say, cut your losses, get a better vehicle, be more scrutinizing when you're buying the vehicles. There are some creative people out there. I once did a 67, the 66 or 67 Chevelle, and the car looked beautiful. It looked great. It was bought basically as a roller. I thoroughly inspected this thing. The guys that sold this thing, and they sold it for a pretty penny as a roller, they were masters of hiding rust. We sent the car out to get dipped. Car came back, it was Swiss cheese. The whole bottom of the car, the roof skin, was Swiss cheese. So they were truly sculptors in Mondo, even down to the floor pans, the ridges in the floor pans. I mean, they took a lot of time to hide the rot that this thing had, which wound up costing customer thousands upon thousands of dollars, which is what I want to save other people from doing the exact thing. There's no way you're going to find it all in looking at a car. There's just no possible way. But you can scrutinize it better, taking into consideration, if you're going at cars from a value standpoint. Of course, value means nothing. Value is only what someone's willing to pay. That's all there is. You can look up values of cars and what they sold for. Of course, cars are going to sell at auction for way more than what they sell on the street or in your local area. So that's not a good barometer of value. what does whatever the car is sell locally for normally. You know, if you see that it's commonly a $15,000 price tag for whatever it is, a Chevy 2, you're always going to be better off trying to find the best Chevy 2 that you can for your build, depending on what you want to do. You know, if you're chopping it up and you're making it custom, starting out with a whole is probably your best bet, because you're going to cut everything up anyways. You're doing a lot of custom aspects to it, so it's not as important. But I will tell you, with any car, starting out with the most solid car you can find from the beginning will save you a lot of time and hassle later on in your build process. So anyways, be picky, scrutinize the cars as much as possible. If you're getting into cars because TV likes to tell you that you're going to make $1 billion, good luck to you. Some people make great money at it, flipping cars and doing that thing, but more people that I know personally, they're lucky to make their money back. So as far as that goes, do your thing. I'll leave that up to you. I'm neither here nor there on that, but I would like to save you a lot of heartache, hassle, and a lot of people get burnt on this industry because of, you know, unassumed costs that they had no clue that they were going to buy. They had no clue they were going to spend $10,000 in metal work. But sometimes that's the case. It just depends on the car, what has to do, because for every hour that a person spends on it, of course, there's shop time. It's part of it. And you can cut those corners if you want to cut those corners. That's up to you. I'm not here to judge anybody. But if you want it done right and proper, it takes time, and it takes effort, and it takes, if you're paying somebody, a reasonable amount of money. So keep that in mind when you're getting your next project. You guys have a good day.